welcome to the deep dive. You've given us some really interesting stuff to get into this week, all focused on learning English, but looking at it through musical instruments and forming bands. I'm intrigued.
Absolutely. So the idea here is to really, explore what goes into making music in a band, how they get started, and also, maybe more broadly, the significance of music itself. We're pulling from that English pod lesson you shared. There's a transcript, a dialogue.
Right, vocabulary explanations and a bit about why music is important. Okay, so let's kick things off. When we talk about instruments here, fundamentally, what are we actually talking about?
Well, yeah, broadly speaking, an instrument is just a tool, isn't it, to get something done? But for music, it's specifically a tool designed to make sound, shape it.
Make music, basically.
Exactly, through vibration or resonance. The lesson gives examples like piano, drums.
Piano with hammers and strings, drums being hit.
Hmm.
Got it. So more than just tools, they shape the sound. Now that dialogue you mentioned about forming a band sounded like it had a bit of a funny side.
It did, yeah. It kind of captures that initial excitement, Maybe sometimes a bit too optimistic about starting a band. So the setup is, someone's really keen on forming a rock band, and they ask someone else if they play anything.
And the other person, they play something, right? I think
They do. They say they're learning the drums, and apparently they've mentioned it 1,000 times.
Ah, that phrase.
Yeah, the lesson points out it's that classic exaggeration, meaning I've told you loads of times.
Right.
So this drummer feels pretty ready, says they've already got a guitarist, a bassist, but they need a singer.
Okay, so the band's almost complete. And the second person.
That's when they jump in. Yes, I'm a singer.
Perfect.
Which, immediately leads to talk of an audition. It really shows that that early stage who does what.
Yeah, figuring out the roles.
Mm.
And the auditions at the drummer's place. Sounds normal enough,
Mm.
but then something unexpected.
Exactly. The potential singer starts asking practical questions like, where do the amps go? Microphones, the drums themselves.
Good questions for a rock band.
Very. But the drummer just sort of waves it off, says all they need is their Nintendo Wii.
Wait, what? A Wii?
Yeah. Because their band is actually going to be a virtual band using the Rock Band game.
Oh, okay. Right. That's quite a twist.
It is.
But it does, accidentally highlight the usual suspects for a rock band.
Mm-hmm.
Drums, guitar, bass, singer.
Precisely. And the lesson then uses that to jump into the vocabulary. Let's start with drums. Why plural?
Ah, good question. I guess. Because it's usually more than one drum.
Exactly right. A standard kit, or drum set as we often call it, has multiple parts. You've got your bass drum, snare, tom-toms, cymbals, each with a different sound.
Right, a whole set.
And the lesson adds with a bit of humor that they can sometimes be seen as, well, obnoxious or loud.
Huh. Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Especially if you live next door to someone learning.
Definitely hard to listen to sometimes.
So what about the guitar? That's usually pretty popular.
Super popular, yeah. Especially for younger people starting out. Great for, sing-alongs. The lesson mentions the two main kinds. Acoustic, usually wooden. The sound comes from the body.
Right, the classic campfire guitar.
Exactly. And then the electric guitar. Often solid body, maybe plastic, metal strings. Needs electricity.
Needs an amplifier, I guess.
Definitely needs an amplifier to make it loud enough. We'll get to that. But first, the bass.
Ah, the bass. And the pronunciation, it's bass, like low, not the fish.
Correct. B-A-S-S, pronounced bass. It's that low-frequency instrument, really important for the rhythm, the groove. Looks a bit like a guitar, as the lesson says, but sounds much, much deeper.
Kind of holds the whole thing together harmonically and rhythmically.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. It provides that foundation.
Okay, so drums, guitar, bass. What about the gear? You mentioned amplifiers.
Crucial bit of kit, especially for electric guitar and bass. It's usually an electronic box. Takes that small electrical signal from the instrument and just makes it way louder.
So generally anything that makes sound louder.
That's the basic idea, yeah. But essential for rock bands to, well, be heard over the drums.
Makes perfect sense. You need that volume. And for the singer, to be heard over that.
They need a microphone, another vital tool. Captures the voice, turns it into an electrical signal, makes it louder, often goes into the main sound system, sometimes through amps, too.
What we're using right now.
Exactly like we're using right now. The lesson points that out, too.
Okay. And the last bit of vocabulary from that section was to audition.
Yes, the verb to audition. Basically means showing someone your talent, performing for them, usually for plays, music groups, opera, that sort of thing, to see how skilled people are.
You can show what you can do. It's not like a job interview, exactly.
No, the lesson makes that distinction. It's specifically about demonstrating artistic talent or skill, playing, singing, acting.
Got it. Showing your chops to get in the band. Okay, the lesson also had some useful phrases, didn't it? In the fluency builder bit.
It did, yeah. First one, to form a band or start a band. The word form here means kind of shape or create something, like putting the pieces together for an artistic project, a music group.
Like sculpting a band out of individual musicians. Makes sense. What else?
I've told you 1,000 times. We touched on this with the drummer.
Right, the exaggeration.
Exactly, hyperbole. It just means very, very often, not literally 1,000. The lesson jokes about mothers using it a lot.
Oh, definitely. Heard that one a few times. And the next phrase.
By the way, it's a little connector phrase, a conjunction. You use it to kind of shift the topic slightly or add an extra related thought like, oh, by the way.
Just dropping in a side note.
Okay.
And the last one.
We are set. This just means we're ready, everything's prepared, nothing else needed, ready to go or start.
Like the lessons example, just waiting for the salad, then we're set to eat.
Exactly. All preparation's done.
So in the dialogue, once they had the we ready, the band was set to play their virtual gig.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, the material went deeper than just that dialogue, right? It got into personal experiences and the meaning of music.
Yeah, tell me about that. There was an anecdote.
There was. One of the English pod hosts talked about playing the trumpet. Started young, age 10, classically trained. Described a standard trumpet, 3 pistons, those valve things.
Okay.
And mentioned other types too, like the piccolo trumpet, smaller, higher, 4 pistons sometimes. And the trombone.
That's the one with the slide.
Yeah, with the slide mechanism. Gives it that lower, smoother sound. Trumpet's more mid-range brass.
Brass, meaning you buzz your lips into it.
That's the one. And this host played in all sorts of groups, school bands, orchestras, even tried it in rock bands. Shows how versatile instruments can be.
Definitely broadens it beyond just the rock band setup. And then the lesson really zoomed out, didn't it, to music in general.
It really did. And this part I thought was quite profound. It highlights how music is just woven into our daily lives. Think about it. Your alarm clock probably plays music, music in the car, in shops, phone ringtones.
It's everywhere. You almost don't notice it sometimes, but it's always there.
Yeah.
Like a soundtrack.
Exactly like a soundtrack.
Yeah.
And the lesson talks about how it evokes emotions, happiness, relaxation, makes you want to dance. There's music for basically every mood.
Sure.
And what's really powerful, it suggests, is that music crosses language barriers. You don't need to understand the words.
Yeah, you can feel the emotion in a song from anywhere in the world.
Precisely. It connects people, tells stories, triggers memories. Playing music or singing is like sharing a piece of yourself.
A kind of communication beyond words.
And importantly, you don't need to be a pro. The joy comes from doing it, listening, even just air guitaring in your room. It's that personal connection.
It's about the feeling it gives you.
Exactly. It's presented as art, history, culture, and a way to feel free. The instruments are the tools, creating sounds that become music. And there's such variety: loud drums, soft piano, fast violins, slow cellos. Each has its own voice.
And when they play together.
In bands or orchestras, yeah, that's when you get that really rich, beautiful combined sound.
The lesson also talked about the benefits of actually learning an instrument, didn't it? Not just listening.
Absolutely. It takes work, sure, but it's fun and apparently really good for your brain, helps with memory, expressing feelings. And the goal isn't necessarily perfection, it's the process, the experience.
Right.
And it loops back to daily life music, starting the day, helping focus at work, livening up parties, offering comfort when you're sad, making movies better.
Enhancing everything, really. Schools, sports games.
Even just making shops feel welcoming. It's integrated into culture, too. Weddings, celebrations, quiet times. It's like this constant presence, the sound of life, a language of sounds, patterns, rhythm.
And learning it develops other skills.
Yeah, things like listening better, focusing, patience, which are useful everywhere, not just in music. And that feeling when a beginner finally plays a song they recognize, apparently that's a huge reward.
Oh, I bet. That sense of accomplishment. Singing, too.
Yes, singing is highlighted as using your voice as an instrument. You learn breath control, ear training for pitch, builds confidence.
Singing in front of people can build courage, make you feel strong.
Definitely. And learning music, playing or singing, helps remembering tunes, lyrics, where your fingers go.
And playing with others.
Huge for teamwork. You have to listen to each other in a band or orchestra to make it work. You learn to sync up.
So it builds social skills, too.
For sure. Music's described as a gift you give yourself, something lasting. And it's a shared thing. Listening to the same song connects people, even strangers at a concert.
That shared emotional experience.
Exactly. Singing together builds community, like family. And because it crosses language barriers, people worldwide can enjoy the same music. It fosters collaboration in groups, creates memories in families.
And now with the internet.
It's global. Sharing performances, learning online, discovering music from everywhere. It's comfort in hard times, makes good times better. It's like a bridge, the lesson says, connecting hearts, reminding us we're not alone.
That's a really lovely way to think about it.
Huh.
Wow. Okay, so before we wrap up, there was also that quick vocabulary review.
Yeah, just reinforcing the main words, instrument tool for music, 1,000 times, very often. Form, create or shape, audition, performance to show talent, and we are set, ready to go.
Good recap. So, putting it all together from this deep dive,
Yeah.
we've looked at the basic instruments in a band, the sometimes funny process of starting one, even virtually,
Yeah.
and then this much bigger picture, the really deep, varied role music plays in our lives. Personal expression, cultural connection, everything.
Exactly, which leads us to a final thought for you, the listener. Think about a piece of music that really gets to you, one that resonates deeply. Maybe you don't even understand the lyrics, if there are any. What feelings does it bring up? What does that tell you about music's power to communicate beyond just words? Maybe think about how music fits into your life. Are you a listener, a player, maybe even just an occasional air guitarist? How do you connect with it?